Hi, everyone. I'm Therese, and I am a nurse, a yoga instructor, and a LifeVantage distributor. Imagine for a moment, what if we had access to a machine that we could hook our bodies up to, and it would allow our body to reboot. So this machine would clean up the gunk in our cells. It would remove inflammation that we have. It would improve our energy, as well as help us to sleep better. So who would sign up for that machine, a little time on that machine to help restore our bodies back to a more youthful state? Well, guess what? We don't need a machine like that to accomplish this. Our bodies have it within themselves. They have the capability to do all of this by activation. And so tonight, that's what we're going to be talking about, is we're going to share with you what you can do to reboot your body and get it back to where it was when you were in your 20s and your 30s. And so what we're going to be talking about is nutrigenomics. So nutrigenomics, a fancy word. It just, when you break it down, it's not that complex. Nutra meaning nutrition, genomics meaning genetic expression. 20 years ago, we didn't know that we could upregulate and downregulate our genes. We all just thought our genes were our genes were our genes. And there was, if we had the gene for Alzheimer's, for example, then it was most likely that we were going to have Alzheimer's when we got older. But in the last 20 years, we have started to look at what we can do to turn up good genes and turn down bad genes. And it is possible to do that through nutrigenomics. This is a new field of study. We are at the forefront of nutrigenomics, and it's just going to be an exploding market, in the near future, because it's so powerful. It really does help. Hijacked versus biohacking. So our bodies are being assaulted every day. I mean, we have physical assaults, all the chemicals and toxins in our environment. Emotionally, I mean, what have we gone through in the last 2 years? It's just really been an emotional burden for all of us. Even our cell phones emit EMFs that could be toxic to us, allergies. So what we do to combat being hijacked like this is we can biohack. Biohacking, I mean, it kind of, in some circles, has a negative connotation, but in this circle, it's actually a positive thing, because we're actually taking control of our own biology. We're optimizing our genetic potential and becoming the best that we can be. And one of the ways we can do that is through nutrigenomics. Another way is by exercising, eating healthy. All of those things are ways to biohack our body. So we're going to be talking about a few different products tonight that are all designed to biohack, to improve your body's capability to clean up and get healthy. And so the first one we're going to talk about is Protandim NRF2. So NRF2 is actually a pathway in your body. It's a naturally occurring pathway. And it is like a protein messenger that signals your cell when there is damage, inflammation, gunk in your cells. And the biggest thing that causes gunk to develop, in my nice technical term, develop in your cell is oxidative stress. Now, oxidative stress is kind of the new term for free radical cell damage. Free radicals are what happens when we use oxygen. We all use oxygen, right? We all breathe. And if you look at from an outward appearance, if you cut an apple in half and let it sit and it turns brown, gets wrinkly, that is oxidative stress. Rust on metal when it's left out in the elements, that is oxidative stress. That's happening in our bodies as well. When we have a buildup of free radical damage or oxidative stress, our cells get that gunk in them. They just get damaged. They don't function as well. And so what if we could activate that NRF2 pathway to clean out the oxidative stress, to reduce inflammation, and just make our cells healthier? Well, that is exactly what Protandim NRF2 Synergizer does. And we have actually been able to show that we can reduce oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days in every single human being that's been studied. So that is a very powerful statement. Why is oxidative stress important? Not just because it helps to clean out our cells, but oxidative stress has been linked to thousands of diseases. If you go to the NIH's search engine, which is pubmed.gov, you can look there and see article after article, I mean, thousands of articles that link oxidative stress to a different disease. And so amazing that we can reduce this by 40% to help our cells repair themselves. Now, this is comprised of 5 simple ingredients, 5 herbs: turmeric, milk thistle, green tea, bacopa, and ashwagandha. These 5 ingredients are all natural antioxidants in and of themselves. And antioxidants are what fight off oxidative stress. So it's not one of them that's doing this work. It's the 5 combined that actually activates this pathway to work. So you might be thinking, well, why can't I just take antioxidants, right? I eat healthy. Isn't that enough to take away that oxidative stress? And it is not, unfortunately. You would have to eat like, 3 bushels of blueberries and, a crate of oranges and, just way more. I mean, I don't know how much kale that you would have to eat, which I hate kale anyway. So I would never do that, but you can't eat enough antioxidants to lower the level of oxidative stress in your body, because it's one and done with any antioxidant. We are activating the cell to do the work to make these antioxidants. So it's like 1 trillion to 1. It's quite powerful. This slide illustrates that concept that I just mentioned earlier. It's not any one product in Protandim that's making this happen. It's the 5 combined. And so you see, they looked at some of these different ingredients and looked to see if they were going to reduce the level of oxidative stress. And none of them significantly did that. Protandim did 1,800%. So that just shows you it's the synergy of these 5 ingredients that does the work. Now, I'm a nurse and I'm all about anything that's evidence-based. And so when I first heard about these products, I was super skeptical because I've heard it before. This works, this does that, this does that. And then I started to do some research and really looked at what other people and other universities were saying about these products. And I was shocked to see that all of these different universities have actually done research on our Protandim NRF2, independent of our company, and have come out with some amazing studies. We have over 30 studies on PubMed.gov, and a lot of these research articles have been published, and these are some of the journals that they've been published in. And this is not like your Cosmopolitan magazine, right? These are like pretty reputable journals. We've been on the news. We have 7 US patents, which is also very, very good. We're patent protected, so nobody can replicate this product. And, you know, just again, to illustrate how crucial NRF2 is to our health and well-being, Washington State University made this statement. They said, we may be on the verge of new literature on the health effects of NRF2, which may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventive breakthrough in the history of medicine. So pretty amazing information. I love my Protandim NRF2 Synergizer, but we have 2 other activators, and I'm going to let Julie talk about our next Synergizer, which is NRF1. So take it away, Julie.
Thank you, Trace. So NRF1, it is another pathway. So we have more than one pathway. This pathway is a pathway to our mitochondria, and it produces 95% of our energy that our body uses. It also helps with the ATP, which pumps blood into our heart. So that's very important to us. We need to have our heart healthy. And so as we age, our mitochondria decline, and it causes us to be tired, and we don't have much energy. We want to take those naps. And it's another part of oxidative stress. And so the environment does it, just like Therese was talking about the apple that you cut in half. That's happening to us. So we want to reboot. We want to restart, rejuvenate. You know, we're talking about rebooting like a computer. We need to do that to our bodies and restart. And so we need to open that pathway. And so building up our mitochondria. And so the NRF1 does that, which helps with our sleep, where we get that really, really deep sleep, that REM sleep. And since I've been taking it, it's increased. You know, I can get 7 hours of sleep, and it's really good sleep. It's not awake and go back to sleep, awake, go back to sleep. And I've been on it over a year. So, you know, we're talking about rebooting. So we need to reboot our body, just like you would do the computer system nowadays, and get our pathways open. So thank you, Therese.
You're welcome. Okay, let's go on. And so the third pathway that we're going to mention is our NAD pathway. And I'm going to have Dr. Rebecca Glasser talk about this pathway. It's a very powerful pathway. Dr. Glasser is a plastic surgeon who's been a plastic surgeon for over 20 years, and we are just thrilled that she's on our call tonight, our Zoom presentation. So take it away, Dr. Glasser.
All right, thank you, Therese. So, you know, I think as Therese and Julie both spoke of, you know, there's multiple pathways within the cell, and I kind of think of it as flipping a switch. So each of these pathways of Protandim is named after the pathway that you're activating, or that switch that you're turning on. So the third one we're going to talk about is NAD. And NAD was originally looked at specifically for weight loss and metabolism, But as they started looking more at NAD, they realized it did a lot of other things. You can see that at the very top, when you increase this pathway, there's a number of studies that show that it improves longevity. So how long are you going to live? The same holds true for NRF2. In addition, it helps with getting rid of cellular waste. So as Therese talked about, getting rid of the gunk, making that engine run a little bit smoother. But I think one of the biggest things I'd like to talk about is the improvement in mental focus as well as concentration, because I think a lot of us have problems with what we think of as brain fog, where our clarity isn't good. We don't multitask like we used to when we were younger. So this is really going to help with mental focus and concentration, but also positive mood and motivation. What are some of the other crossovers? Well, Julie spoke about how NRF1 helps with energy levels. I think of it as going out to your car and having no fuel in the gas tank. Well, both NAD and NRF1 are going to help with those energy levels. And then the other crossover is that inflammatory response. And so NAD helps to lower inflammation, just as NRF2 does. There's also a number of studies that show it helps normalize cholesterol levels, as well as support a healthy vascular system. It's again made of natural products from the earth. It's that combination of those 4 products listed, 4 ingredients listed, that activate and increase sirtuin proteins and then NAD levels by 100% within 24 hours. Now, when you combine these 3 products, there are 3 protein products, NRF2, NRF1, as well as our NAD, you can see stacked together, you're really getting a synergistic effect. And so let's look at, for example, the inflammatory response, because we know that inflammation is one of the root causes of disease. Inflammation is involved in every disease, from heart disease to arthritis to dementia. It's all about that inflammatory response. And so if you look on the far left side of it, we can look specifically at a gene, the NQO1 gene, which is part of that. Let's look at the HMOX1 gene, which is part of that inflammatory response. And so, Therese, if you go up just a little bit more on your screen, you can see that by NRF2 alone, the very bottom, you can see NRF2 alone increases this gene by 51%. But when you combine all 3, NRF2, NRF1, and NAD, you get a 1563, so 1,563% increase in activation of this gene. And again, these are all genes that we want to activate. These are our survival genes. So whether they're antioxidants or inflammation or our energy, mitochondria, our metabolic genes for weight control, these are all great ones to activate. And I love that combination of those 3 together to create that synergistic response.
Great. Thank you so much. Now we're going to switch focus a little bit. We've been talking about activators. We also have a very important part of our body that is crucial to our health, and that is our gut. And so we're going to have Rhonda talk a little bit about gut health and what a probiotic can do for us. You're still muted, Rhonda.
Sorry about that. Thank you. I've got a whole lot that I can say about the probiotics, so I'm going to keep it as brief as I can. First of all, it supports a healthy microbiome. If you don't know what a microbiome is, if that's a new word, it's a collection of organisms that live on us and in us, not just in our intestinal tract. Our probio is patented with an excellent delivery system. It is time released very, very slowly over a period of 10 to 12 hours, and it bypasses the stomach acid in the upper intestine, and it gets down to the lower intestine where it's needed. It's able to transition through that acid in the upper intestine, and that's due to its specialized delivery system. So that's one important thing to consider. Another thing to consider is if you look at the sphere on your far left, you can see a 4% and 96%. Most over-the-counter probiotics are going to deliver 4% efficacy for you. Now you look at the other sphere with our patented delivery system, we're going to get down through that acid and we're going to deliver not 60, because this is an old slide. They haven't given us a new slide to replace it yet, but we are going to get 70% efficacy. So what do you want to spend your money on? A probiotic that's going to give you 4% efficacy, or a probiotic that's going to give you 70%? A big thing that I did not know, our doctor never told me, but our immunity is made in our lower intestine, in our gut. 80% of our immunity is created here. So if you don't have a healthy gut, you don't have a good immunity going on in your body. So obviously with all the viruses, and the colds, the flu, everything that goes around, your kids bring home. If you don't have a healthy immune system, you're going to be very vulnerable to getting any of these. So you want to focus on making that as strong as you can. Another thing that the probiotic does, and I didn't know about this, was it improves the tight junctions in that intestinal wall. And there is actually a communication system. It's an awesome communication system. It goes from the brain down to your intestine, and your brain is talking to your gut, and your gut's talking to your brain, back and forth all day long, all night long. And when you eat a meal, your brain is going to signal down in your gut, hey, I'm full, you can stop eating now. It's going to tell you how it feels. It's going to help set your mood. And mood is a big thing. So many people struggle with anxiety and depression, PTSD, all the mood disorders, and then of course the big one, and that's Alzheimer's. But what if starting on a good probiotic would help to improve your mood? Would that be worth trying? And I have to tell a real quick story, because this is where it's dear to my heart. My husband had chronic depression for 7 years, and he suffered with that. His quality of life was not good. And the doctors, all they had in their toolkit was to throw prescription drugs at him. So he'd try one and it would make him feel worse than he had before. So he'd go off that, he'd linger a while, and then he'd try another one, and back and forth. Well, 4 months, no, it was about 3 months into taking the activators and the probiotic, he just started feeling better. That's all I can say. It was like he started getting his life back. My husband is 76 years old. He works 5 to 6 days a week. He is on no prescription drugs. And I have to tell you, in our household, we have a lot of joy now. We're recouping those lost 7 years. So that's why this product is very, very, very dear to our family. But your gut affects so many things, your hormones, hormone imbalances, skin conditions, and heart health, on and on. So if you're considering a probiotic, I will tell you that this probiotic will not disappoint you. It will deliver. Thank you, Therese.
Thank you, Rhonda. That was excellent. Okay, and the final product that we're going to touch on is our Omega. Let me say that fast 3 times. and Farron Barbado is going to talk a little bit about the Omega.
Thank you, Therese. So the importance of Omega, I had no clue. I would take Omega just because that was what I was told when I got older I needed to take. And all the omegas I would go and buy, and I would go and buy good ones because I figured if I'm going to try and get the products into me, and every single one of them would be so horrible. I would constantly have the fish burps and stuff from it. And I really, really never felt the results well enough to suffer with the fish burps. So I would quit taking it. And so one of the greatest things I can say about our omega is that we don't have the fish burps. And the reason for that being is the omegas that are on the shelves at the store are rancid. And our omega is fresh from the boat. It can our omega can be tracked from the bottle to the boat. Our omega-7 comes from elastic pollock from the cold waters of Alaska. And then our omega-3 comes from the Norwegian, I forget which fish, but it comes from a Norwegian fish. And they're both two of the omegas that are very, very important that are in ours. We also have the vitamin D3, which is called the sunshine vitamin, which works with our metabolism in our bodies and helps our bodies with our kidney and liver functions, which is extremely important. The one thing our omega does not have is omega-6. Now, omega-6 is really something you find in every omega that you would find at the stores on the shelves. And what that is just a filler. So you're paying money for an omega that has a filler, and our omega doesn't have any fillers. It's all good product that's in there. So omega supports the heart. It helps the skin. I know that one of the things people have told me that when they take omega, that they can feel that their skin doesn't feel as dry or as wrinkly. And I think that was one of the reasons why I tried taking omegas. And since I've been taking this omega, I've noticed with our Colorado weather especially, that it has helped tremendously with that. It's one of the greatest things I found with it. The omega-7 is another big one with me because you don't find omega-7 in those store-bought omegas. And therefore, the omega-7 reduces the risk of diabetes. It prevents buildup of gunk in our plaque in our system. It also increases good cholesterol levels. It sends reactors to the protein makers of the inflammation department in our systems. It increases significantly reduces the effects of possible heart attack or stroke. Also helps reduce the effects of diabetes and also of cancer. So that's some of the good things I have to report on omega, and it's one of the best omegas out there. I've never taken an omega that has made me happier. Thank you, Therese.
Good job. Thanks, Farron. So the omega, the probio, and then the two synergizers, NRF2 and NRF1, comprise our vitality stack. Our vitality stack is a wonderful comprehensive stack because it addresses so many systems and helps to support and stabilize. And you can see this list. I mean, it reduces oxidative stress. That's the NRF2, boosting our mitochondrial production, energy. That's both NRF1 and NAD, supports a healthy microbiome. That is our probio, supports immune function, our probio, and actually all of them to help with that. And then a healthy brain and healthy heart, which is also our omega. So this is a great starter, a great place to get started is with our vitality stack. You know, our company has other products that are designed to improve our health. We have a really nice daily wellness. This is a powder form. It's a good tasting drink. I like the taste of it. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I actually do. But it's just 5 ingredients, you know, all of the things that when COVID came out, the doctors were saying you should be on these things because it's going to help to ward off not just COVID, but other viruses, vitamin C, vitamin D3, zinc, elderberry syrup, which is a more natural alternative, and then also fermented yeast. Fermented yeast is wonderful to help boost our immunity. You know, some other products that we have, we have a wonderful skincare line. It's called True Science. It's my favorite. I've done a lot of them. I've tried a lot of them over the years, and it's not a rough, complex system. You know, there's only 4 parts to it, but all natural, powerful results. These products are NRF2 activated. So we're getting, you know, activated from the inside out, but then when you apply the skincare line to your skin is getting that direct NRF2 activation. So it goes from the outside in as well. We have an awesome energy drink called Axio. It is actually brain food, and it really, people use it to help with their concentration. Some people call this just a power drink. We have caffeinated and decaffeinated options, and it's sugar-free. We have a really nice weight loss system. Our hair care is amazing. If you have thinning hair, this helps with making your hair fuller, helps with growth. It is awesome. And one of our favorite products is our Pet Tandem, because this is for our furry friends, dogs, cats, even horses and cows. All mammals have oxidative stress. And so, you know, especially our dogs, as they get older, they really struggle. And dogs don't have a placebo effect. So you give them this is just a treat. You give them a treat and they get better. It's like, wow, we have just testimonial after testimonial showing how well this works. Let's change focus a little bit. I'm going to turn the mic back over to Rhonda, and she's going to share a little bit about the history of LifeVantage. We've been talking about all these amazing products, but what kind of company is this? When did it start? Is it legit? Let's find out, Rhonda.
Well, you know, for me, when I look at a product, and I don't know much about it, I want to know the history on it. I want to know where it originated. I want to know a little bit about it, you know, and then I'll evaluate further. But LifeVantage did not come to fruition for quite a while. The NRF2 actually was developed in a laboratory, in a scientific laboratory in 1968. And this was at the University of Denver, Colorado. And a group of scientists led by Dr. Joe McCord came up with these 5 ingredients that Therese went over with you with the NRF2. And they developed it into a supplement that they were trying, and they had a lot of scientific information, and that it was good. And so it came to market about 2003. If any of you remember the investigative report on ABC's Primetime, back in about 2005, there was a flurry of media attention because what happened, the host of that show, Mr. John Quinones, and he was a middle-aged man at that time, but his job was to debunk new products when they came to market. And so he agreed to attempt to debunk our product, the NRF2. So he went to the laboratory where Dr. McCord was, and they did a blood test on him. And it's called a T-bar, and it measures the amount of oxidative stress that you have in your system at any given time. They measured that, sent him home with the product, with the NRF2. He took that for 2 weeks, and then he came back. They gave him another blood test, and this time his oxidative stress after 2 weeks measured to that of a 20-year-old. So he failed in debunking the science that supports this product, and he's still on this product today. So if you can imagine a little sales clerk in GNC or Sprouts or wherever you buy your good quality supplements, and you go up to that little clerk and you say, tell me about NRF2. What does this do? And they're going to kind of look at you like a deer in headlight, and because they don't know the history. So the company was, they were about to go bankrupt, and so that's when they switched from retail to direct sales, and that was in 2009. We are publicly traded on the NASDAQ. Our call letters are LFVN, and I'm pretty proud of that. We have exemplary corporate leadership. There's over 100 years combined experience in network marketing. We've personally met the board, the president of our company. They're very transparent, just really good, solid leadership. But I love partnering with these products. I love partnering with this company because it is definitely at the forefront of preventive medicine. And that's one of my passions. Thank you, Therese.
Thank you, Rhonda. We are in several markets, as I mentioned. So we're quite diverse. This is our headquarters. We're based out of Utah, Salt Lake City. And one very interesting thing to note is that this building was built, it was completed in 2020, and we are debt-free. We became debt-free in 2020, which was during COVID. So we are very solid and very good shape financially. We started in the United States, but we are reaching globally. We are in over 20 countries worldwide, actually 21 now because we just opened in the Philippines. So we're continuing to grow. And, so as a company, I'm telling you all these things, alluding to the fact that we're a solid company. We've been around, like Rhonda said, since 2003. And when a company first gets started, there's a lot of risk. There's a high level of companies that go out of business in these early years. Either they have the wrong product, bad timing, poor management. There's many reasons that a company can not succeed. We're past this early phase. And this purple line kind of shows how companies grow. The purple asterisk signifies when branding occurs. Branding is like Kleenex, Coca-Cola, Pampered Chef, Mary Kay. These are all companies that you say that word, everybody knows what you're talking about. And that's usually when a company reaches about 650 million in annual revenue. That's when branding occurs. So see what happens after branding. Whoo, rapid, amazing growth, 80% of growth. And guess what? LifeVantage is not branded yet. Even though we've been around for a while, we're still relatively unknown. If you ask someone on the street, have you heard of LifeVantage? Most likely they have not. So I kind of compare us to where Microsoft was in the 80s before everybody knew about Microsoft. If we would have bought stock in Microsoft in the 80s, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. And that's where we are. We are just getting ready. The timing is so perfect right now for this branding to occur because everybody is wanting to get healthy. Everyone is wanting to improve their immunity, reboot, get young again. All of those things are just so important in this day and age. So, we are a network marketing company, and a lot of people, when they hear that, are like, no, thank you. And so I'm going to have Julie talk a little bit about network marketing facts.
Thank you, Therese. Yeah, network marketing, yes, was a bad word, but it has changed so much. If you look at the chart here, 2011, it was 158 billion. And down here in 2017, it says 189. Well, it's well over that now. Network marketing, I'm sure we all know Amway, and you had all these products and you had to order, you had to deliver, kind of like Girl Scout cookies. So, but nowadays, network marketing has become sensational. It is a trend now, a big trend, because everybody is ordering online. Everybody has their laptop. So this slide right here does not do network marketing justice, because network marketing is a hot commodity these days. And so I am so thankful that I have once again tried this network marketing word. And I'm very proud to say that I am in network marketing. So thank you, Therese.
You're welcome. I love the laptop lifestyle that having a home-based business affords. I'm a nurse. I work 12-hour shifts. I work weekends and holidays. I'm getting tired of it. I don't want to do it until I retire. And so being able to work in my pajamas in the comfort of my own home is very, very appealing to me. And so I am planning on really working this business to be able to retire from nursing. I'm going to have Dr. Glasser talk a little bit more about what you can do if you're thinking that this might be something appealing for you to become a distributor. So take it away, Rebecca.
Yeah, so so it's interesting. I think when people look at these products, it's usually one of three boxes that people are trying to check. The biggest box, the majority of people are interested in health and wellness. So as you've heard tonight, I mean, we've spent the majority of this discussion this evening talking about the science. And, you know, as far as my history goes, when I was initially approached about this, I was very intrigued by the science. I mean, for there to be a natural product that's on the side of prevention, that's looking at the root cause of disease is amazing. You know, as you go into medicine, you know, we take an oath to do no harm. And to me, to be able to provide products to people that do no harm, but yet they're working on the now, but they're also working on the future from a preventative aspect is huge, because there's not many things out there. But I think finally medicine is shifting towards that prevention state. And as you heard from Julie, I mean, health and wellness is the major thing we're all concerned about, particularly during these last 2 years, right? It is the number one area that people are interested in. So that's the first box, you know, checking the health and wellness box. And I think many people who saw the presentation are interested in taking the products, experiencing them and improving their health. The second box is financial security. And we're all in the great resignation right now. You know, there's more people quitting their jobs than there ever has been in the history of America. The biggest problem is that most people have no retirement. They have no plans for how they're going to retire. And so that's a huge problem, is financial security right now. We know that with inflation, I mean, if you've been to the gas pump lately, you know, it's a scary place to go to just try and fill up the truck or fill up your car. And then in addition to that, you go to the grocery store, or you try and build a home, or you just try and go to Home Depot to get supplies, and inflationary costs are through the roof. So I think a lot of people are also looking for financial security. That may mean making an extra $200 or $500 a month, or perhaps you have a bigger picture and you're looking for something larger than that. The final box that I think we're all kind of looking at is that time freedom box. And that was really the box for me, because I was very lucky to be a plastic surgeon. You know, I had a wonderful career. I was able to take care of breast cancer patients, which was incredibly rewarding. But at the same time, my career required me to work 7 days a week and be on call 24 hours a day. And after a while, you decide, nope, that's not how I want to go through life. I don't want to spend my entire life working. So that final box is really the time freedom box, to be able to spend your time with your family, to be able to do those priorities that you love, to come out to Colorado to go skiing or go to the beach or whatever your priority is. So as we talked about, many of you guys are looking at becoming a customer, which is phenomenal. If you look at the makeup, the revenue of this company, over 80% of people join on as customers. But many of you guys are also looking at business opportunities. You're looking at those last two boxes. And so that might mean more financial freedom, or that might mean time freedom. So we have a couple of different packs that I think are worth looking at. The Premier Pack is our $299 pack that essentially has $466 worth of product in it. It's everything we talked about today. It's the 3 Protandim products. It's got Axio, the probiotic, and it has part of our skincare. If the Premier Pack is too small for you, we do have a larger pack, which is our Elite Pack. The reason I like this is it has absolutely everything that we talked about, but from a savings standpoint, it's $999, and you get $1,000 worth of free product. So one time when you sign up as a distributor that you get this discount. So it's a one-time cost to become involved with this company. That choice is, again, a $299 or a $999 pack. Now, the average income disclosure, again, we talked about, I think network marketing, it's very unusual for a network marketing company to be publicly traded on the NASDAQ. And because we are publicly traded, our company does publish the salaries of those according to rank. So if you looked at the left-hand side, you can see there's anywhere from Pro 1 to Pro 11. And you can see that the average income is there in that middle, in that darker column there. So you can see for some people, if you wanted to make an extra $600 a month, well, that would be the level of a Pro 3. It's very obtainable. But let's say you wanted to go a little bigger and you had a little more eye on the prize and you wanted to get up to where Therese is. So Therese is a Premier Pro 5, and the average Pro 5 makes about $3,100 a month. So, what would that do for paying your mortgage and paying your car payment and paying for groceries? But let's say you wanted to think a little bigger and you wanted to get up to where I am in the company in the elite stages. So I'm between a Pro 7 and a Pro 8. So for my level in the company, you're making between $13,000 and $25,000. So again, this is real. These are real numbers. They're published down to the penny. It isn't a 6 months get rich quick scheme for sure. It's about building a team. It's about networking. It's about creating generational willable wealth that you can give your children. So I think we went through those in the quick way. The last pool I'll talk about is the elite bonus pool. And what this is, we always kind of talk about, well, the people at the top of the company, make all the money, but let me show you why it's so important to get to that elite stage. Because once you get up to an elite stage in the company, you get a piece of global revenue. So what the company does is they take 4% of global revenue and they divide it into 4 quadrants. So once you get into the Pro 7 ranks, everyone who's a Pro 7, 8, 9, and 10 splits 1% of global revenue. That means you're not just making money on your team, but on all teams. So one of the reasons I served on the scientific advisory board and I gave lectures to the company to try and teach everyone the importance of the science was because if I taught everyone in the company how this works, you can imagine that I would profit from everyone in the company doing well. If you get up to that next level, a Pro 8 level, then you're getting another 1%. If you get up to that Pro 9 level, that's another 1%. And the Pro 10s, man, that's the eye on the prize, right? For that final 1%. So sharing in global revenue of the company is always a good thing. All right, I think we're getting a little long-winded, so I'm going to just kind of skip through some of that. And then Therese, I think I'm going to turn it back over to you to let you wrap it up.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. In this day and age, I mean, as a nurse, I thought my job was very safe, but I actually, through COVID, lost a lot of hours because where I work is in the outpatient, there's an outpatient setting. And so I was so grateful that I had this job to help me pay the bills. And so I think never depending on a single income is something that we all should think about. And starting a side gig, this one is, to me, a no-brainer. Everybody needs this product. Your target market is very broad, and people are wanting to be healthy. And so can you do this? I mean, can you share this information with people? Can you invite people to a Zoom event like we've just done so that we can share information with all of your friends? That's really what this is all about. And so our company takes very good care of us. So as you're leaving tonight, you might think, I want to do a little more research on this. This seems like a lot. And that's great. You might be like, yeah, no, I just want to try a product. That's awesome too. We love that. Or you might be like, yes, this opportunity, I see this. This is an opportunity. I want to become a part of this team. So please connect with the person that invited you tonight and let them know what you're interested in. I so appreciate your time. We did go a little over time, and I apologize for that, but thank you all so much for tuning in, and have a great night.
That's the front court. Some action building across Southeast Louisiana. Looks like the main activity is going to be in the early to mid-evening hours.